What is up, my little sugar buggers? Welcome back to the channel for an updated current household. Here we are with the Suarez family. It has been a hot freaking minute since I have even talked about this familia. I believe like the last time I even put them on my channel was probably 2 months ago, back in June when I left for EA Play, which is crazy to me. So if you guys aren't familiar with what a current household is, it's basically a kind of chit chat video with a little bit of gameplay sometimes mixed in about the household that I am playing off camera, the one that I am keeping away from you guys. Now, because this is my current household, I have Wicked Whims in, I have Basemental, and I've been using them. I'm actually going to talk to you guys a little bit about both of those mods. That looked like it seriously hurt. Oh my god, get a freaking grip. Somebody needs to like salt the sidewalk because I'm pretty sure Katrina just broke her freaking hips. As I was trying to say. So yeah, I'm going to talk about both of those mods because I feel like they're super misunderstood, right? Like you hear Wicked Whims and you hear Basemental and you're like, oh wow, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. So because I will be talking about those things and including a lot of drama and sensitive topics, I'm pretty sure you kind of get where I'm going with this. So I would say viewer discretion is advised because some of these things we might be talking about might be a little upsetting, or, you know, it just might not be your bag, and that's cool. It's totally fine. I like to play with mods. I feel like they really keep your game interesting, and unpredictable is really like the key word here. And so I'm gonna pause the game really quick because I have so much to catch you up on, and even down to why we're here in Windenburg at a coffee shop is one of the reasons or one of the things that I want to kind of like fill you in on. We're here for a purpose. Let me just go and put it like that. So long story short, I don't remember where we left off with the Suarez family. I feel like we might have been at the point where Jorge started getting a little flaky, and he ended up actually having an affair on Francesca. He went through a whole phase where he was just completely just bad to her. He was super neglectful as like a husband. He was sleeping around with other women. He was going to like gentlemen clubs after work. Now, the thing you need to know about Jorge, he's extremely prideful. For a really long time, the Suarez family, they were seriously like rubbing nickels together to make ends meet. And he was trying so hard to become, you know, a well-known, renowned chef and bring in the bank. And as you guys can see, he's definitely got in there. He is on level 9 of the culinary arts career, which is amazing. He's an executive chef. He makes $253 an hour. Ever since he's been getting that recognition at work as a chef, life has definitely been a lot easier. It's really interesting too because he has had multiple affairs and relationships. So just to go and kind of like touch base on those relationships really quick, I'm going to take you guys into his relationship window. Now, if you do want a little bit more of a back history on each individual sim, like what their interests are and their goals and ambitions, go ahead and check out my very first video and you'll get kind of a little more personal. This video is mostly on like what has happened since then, and I'm telling you guys, I already filmed this video yesterday before even more drama happened, and even at that, it was like 25 freaking minutes long. It was crazy. So his 3 main relationships, actually 4, are Candace, Heather, Jade, and Ciara. So Candace is a bartender that he met back in Oasis Springs. They hit it off really well. They ended up like hooking up, and he started to kind of like get serious feelings for her, but because he wanted to honor his marriage with Francesca, he decided, you know what, let's pump the brakes, let's call it a day, and he ended that relationship. Then along came either Heather or Ciara, I'm not really sure. He ended up going to a club, met Ciara. She was one of the dancers there, like a go-go dancer kind of a deal, and they also ended up hooking up. Okay, she's also part of the Party Animals Club, which makes a lot of sense. They are known to kind of like, you know, stir the pot, cause drama, live life on the edge, you know what I mean? So it's no surprise that he would be attracted to somebody who kind of likes to party, because he does too. He loves to party. So anyway, he hooked up with Ciara, moved on to Heather, or vice versa. I'm not really sure, but their relationship, Heather and Jorge, they were like serious. They were in a relationship. Like he was kind of committed to her, like half-heartedly, I guess. You know what I mean? And he noticed too, he was falling in love with her. But the thing is Heather's married, right? So that relationship really couldn't go anywhere. So he decided again to try to be faithful. He came forward at this point to Francesca about his infidelity, and she forgave him. You know, she goes to church, she does all these things. She, you know, she believes in marriage wholeheartedly and that you don't give up on the one that you love, even though honestly, I don't know how she does it, because if Jorge was doing these things to me, I don't think I could hang. Like, I don't think I could hang. So they moved forward. Then came Jade. So what had happened is Jorge started feeling the stress of his job. He started feeling the stress of his kids, because let's just say, even though Raul is a sweetheart, I love him to death, teenage years are seriously freaking killer. They are so hard sometimes. And so that was really kind of like affecting his relationship with Francesca, and they weren't having, you know, adult, like, you know, adult time anymore, and they weren't like close as a couple. Like, they weren't connecting, they were fighting all the time. And I'm not saying like this is a good excuse for what he did, but it is partially kind of like the driving force of why. So instead of, you know, trying to make the relationship work, he went ahead and discovered another broad at the club, Jade Rosa. Now, Jade Rosa and him kind of like saw each other. It was kind of like a one-night stand, I'm not gonna front, and she ended up getting pregnant. I had no idea until this morning when she sent him a text message saying, "Congratulations, you're a dad to a baby boy named Quid." Now, the reason why we're here is because we were supposed to meet up with Jade to talk about, you know, what we're gonna do moving forward. Because since then, you guys, Heather came into Jorge's life, and she actually invited him out for dinner. In the moment, he had like an epiphany. Like, literally, this all happened thanks to the attractiveness system in the game, which I think comes with wicked whims. He had an epiphany that the one and only woman for him was his wife, Francesca. And so he actually got up from the table, left Heather there, you guys, and decided to close that chapter on his life. And he's been good ever since. He's been good ever freaking since. And what kills me is that he has been so amazing and faithful. His head has been screwed on tight. And then all of a sudden, Jade hits us with this huge bomb that she's pregnant, or that she just had a baby. And Jorge doesn't know what to do. Jorge does not know what to do, because Francesca doesn't know about Jade or the other couple relationships that he has had since kind of coming forward. And so it's a really stressful situation. I don't know what to do. I admire Francesca a lot for how loyal she is, but at the same time, like any other sim of mine, if this was a situation that they were going through, they would have packed their bags, sis. It wouldn't have been a question. That brings me to Francesca. This woman has the patience of a literal saint. The entire world, the entire responsibility of the upbringing of her child is literally on her two shoulders. And everything that's been going on with Raul has definitely taken her toll. The other day she had a breakdown, like a literal breakdown. The stress was too much, and she went to the doctor, and because of base mental, he actually prescribed her some anti-anxiety pills, which it's really interesting because on, I think it was like Winterfest morning, they were decorating the Christmas tree, and it was just so sad. Like, this all happened, I'm not even lying. They were decorating the Christmas tree together as a family, and unfortunately Jorge put the wrong ornaments on the tree. Francesca literally lost her ish. She ended up just taking one of her anti-anxiety pills, and it was fine. I thought it was so cool. It was so realistic, like in the sense of, you know, she tried to like calm herself down, right? And so that was cool. But what is going on with Raul? Well, Raul is, well, he's buff now. I do remember talking to you guys about how badly he wanted to get in shape, because his whole life he's just been really skinny. In fact, when he tried out for football, they told him he was too thin, go eat a cheeseburger. It was the worst experience ever. He was literally mortified. And then when he tried out for basketball, he was too short, right? And so thanks to Isa standing him up, he decided the best revenge is success, and he started eating a lot more, trying to pack on that bulk. He started hitting the gym, and along the way, you guys, he met a really good friend named, who is it? Okay, Tag. So Tag's actually the I want to say he's the, oh gosh, what is it, gym trainer? at the Oasis gym. You know what I'm talking about, right? So yeah, he works there, and they're really good friends. Granted, there is a little bit of an age difference there, but it's fine. I feel like Raul's going to be aging up pretty soon anyways, so it doesn't really matter. He has so much potential. He's extremely funny, creative, gifted. He is a whole hoot to have to be around, but this kid has always kind of been a follower. I'm not gonna lie, and oh my god, I love this. I love how she's just like creeping out of the woodwork. Okay, I will get into like how amazing he is in just a brief second, but I do kind of want to talk to you guys about why Isa and him had a falling out. So he's been pursuing this girl probably all of, I want to say, freshman year in high school into even junior year. He's a junior now, I think. And I'm not sure if his sister's older. I'm pretty positive Yesenia is older, so she might actually be a senior in high school, and Raul is a junior. I can't really remember. Anyway, he's been pursuing her, and then finally, like, ish hit the fan. They messed around, and then she went ghost. Like, he never freaking existed, and he doesn't understand why she would do that to him. Jorge notices the kitchen staff whispering and asks what's going on. As it turns out, an important restaurant critic has been just seated. Jorge can either show off his chops by serving a lobster thermidor, a signature dish, or mac and cheese, the critic's favorite comfort food. What would I do in a situation like this? Give them what they really want, or kind of be bold? Honestly, I feel like Jorge is such a confident person. He feels like he can get away with everything, as we've already learned. So we're gonna do lobster thermidor and hope that she actually likes it. The distinctive flavors, creamy texture, and glorious presentation of the lobster thermidor should be enough to inspire a discerning sim to visit Jorge's restaurant. Performance gain small. So actually, he did good. He impressed her like a lot. Anyway, I kind of forgot what I was talking about, but Isa just really did him dirty, okay? And the interesting thing with Yesenia is she was really interested in Andy West. The only problem with Andy is he's kind of like, how do you say? He's really reserved. He doesn't like to get into many social situations when it comes to romance. Like, he wants nothing to do with it. He's very insecure that way, and it was really hard for her to connect, even though she wanted to. Andy and Yesenia are complete opposites. So with the Wicked Whims, I do believe there is the attractiveness system, which is really amazing because your Sims will have types. And so that actually really has a huge part in their attractiveness to other Sims and the way that the relationship builds, which is so realistic, right? And that's why I love Wicked Whims. Wicked Whims also has this brand new feature, which I will show you guys in a second. I love how Raul is reading Simone to sleep. We'll get to that one in a moment too, where when they start working out, they'll actually start perspiring, like real sweat, which is crazy. And it kind of has kept me inspired, or not inspired, but driven to keep up with Raul's fitness, because it just feels so much more engaging and realistic. And that's also really amazing too. So Wicked Whims has like so many different real life variables besides the shenanigans and the finagling and, you know, the exposed woohoo, I guess, which, you know, I did go and check out a couple of those too. I have this streamer edition in, so I don't see any of that, which I'm not really like, I'm not judging. It's just not my bag, right? So anyway, this also is a whole thing, but okay. There's also like ways that you can handle pregnancy and all that jazz, which is really cool as well. I'm trying to see if you guys can see him starting to break a sweat. So there you go. If you look really closely on the side of his face, you'll notice that his body is starting to drip actual sweat that glistens. So when you turn the camera, right, it kind of like illuminates more, and then it almost disappears like real sweat would. So it has like this very realistic texture about it, which is amazing. So anyway, Yesenia and Andy did not work out. They actually went bowling one night together, and that was okay until Andy kind of got weird and just straight up like bounced. He left her. He went to go to the bathroom and then never came back to finish the rest of the bowling game. So anyways, Yesenia was kind of standing there like a doorknob. She's feeling super duper embarrassed. Called Raul to come hang out with her because she felt like a loser. And then she could hear from like the upstairs, like the loft area in the bowling alley, a bunch of people giggling and laughing and having a good time. Yesenia is kind of naturally drawn to the party, right? Not in the way that Raul is. Like Raul is a partier, but she's just drawn to like lively, like happy people. Like she loves that positive energy. And so she went upstairs to grab something from the vending machine, and she noticed the party animals. And Raul has been waiting to get into a group like this for a very long time because the people he hangs out with don't really like to do that type of thing. And Raul's a partier in every sense of the word. Like, you know, he's a little extreme with it, but I mean, I think we already know that because I think I told you guys in the first kind of like update on this family. So anyways, Yesenia ended up actually introducing herself to this guy, Bryce, who she has helplessly fallen in love with at a rapid pace. And the thing about Bryce is like, he was been raised by his older sister, Allie, and so he hasn't really had like the greatest boundary set or any rules. Like he kind of has always been able to fly by the seat of his pants. Him and his sister are both in the party animals group, and this is all like under Kayla's like law. Let's just put it like that because she made this save. So it all just kind of falls into place, and it's amazing. So she made the sim too, but I gave him a makeover just to kind of fit like this bad boy aesthetic that he portrays. They have very similar upbringings in the sense of like making ends meet and all that kind of thing, you know, like life's hard. And so I feel like in many ways, not Isa, but in many ways, Bryce and Yesenia have a lot in common. So I'm actually going to go over here and help out Simone, who I'll get to in just a moment. I'm going to have her also go and give her a bath if that's possible, because she kind of stinky. She a little stinky, and it's getting like super duper late. So yeah, Yesenia is a really good girl. She stays out of trouble. She has an A in high school, which is amazing. And yeah, she likes to, you know, go and sneak out to be with her boo every now and again. They aren't dating. But again, like all of that stuff is just added stress to Francesca because Yesenia is kind of like her only hope. Like Raul's a good kid, but he does some really bad things. He's a candy dispenser. Let's just put it like that. And you know what? He's not proud of it, but his whole life he's kind of felt like he never belonged. He tried out for basketball, he tried out for football, and he's always been told no. The one thing that he's never been told no is being in the party scene. Like everybody loves a good time, right? And so again, we're not talking about real life here, PSA. We're talking about the Sims. So just FYI, like don't think you need to do this to like fit in. I'm not really sure what's gonna happen with him. Like he could go either way at this point, to be freaking honest. Like it's kind of a toss-up. There's really no solid direction for this kid. Like I said, he could literally turn out to be amazing. He could learn from his experiences, or he could go down the wrong path. But in my heart, like I don't think he would, because he's just too good of a kid. So anyways, that brings me to Simone. Simone was supposed to be the child that saved the marriage. Francesca ended up getting pregnant with Simone right after that whole Heather situation when Jorge came forth and, you know, told her about the infidelity. Oh my God! He's back! He's freaking back. Okay, so yeah, she was supposed to save the marriage, and you know what? Actually, it was a lot of the reason why Jorge decided to clean up his act. But then after she was born, the stress appeared and blah, blah, blah. You get the freaking point. Well, here's the real hoot and a half, okay? He found out he's having Quinn, or had Quinn, and then Francesca just dropped a huge bomb that she is pregnant again with baby number freaking 4. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the house is really, really, really small. Like I don't know how we're supposed to fit this many Sims, especially 2 children, in such a small space. So Jorge now feels the pressure, which he's fine with because he's actually making money. and to start looking into moving out of this neighborhood, which has a lot of like crime and issues, hence Mr. Peeping Tom over here, into something a little bit nicer and something a little bit roomier so that the kids have their own rooms and that type of a thing. Hopefully we can do it. I have 7,000 simoleons plus whatever the house is worth at this point, so probably am going to have to wait until the baby is born until we actually do that. But the house is pretty much the exact same since you guys last saw it, except for like Simone sleeps with her parents because like she doesn't have anywhere else, and Raul and Yesenia still share a space. So also with Wicked Whims, oh my god, you have peeping toms. Okay, peeping toms, like they'll come into the window and like stare and do very inappropriate things, and it's disgusting. It's so upsetting, and that's actually why Raul has a bad relationship with him, because he did the exact same thing that he's doing now literally 3 nights ago, where he was staring into the window just being a creep, okay, and he noticed it, and of course he's like super defensive, like super protective over his sister. Came out, gave him what was coming to him, and that is why the relationship bar is so low. Obviously, Mr. Tom Peeping here didn't get the message because he's back at it again. All right, so there's a couple other things that I kind of want to talk to you guys about before we wrap up this video. I'm going to actually have Jorge go to sleep. I would handle this situation how I see fit, but because I'm kind of trying to keep it somewhat, you know, PG-13 here, I'm not gonna have Jorge deal with Mr. Tom Peeping. But anyway, he's leaving, so it's fine. What was I gonna say? Okay, so another thing about, I think it's Wicked Whims, I'm not 100% sure. There is this really amazing sub-trait system. There's like a whole thing behind it, and based on your Sims' personalities, they will start getting like these secondary descriptions of who they are as individuals. For instance, it appears that Jorge is the hero. Hero Sims are eager to demonstrate courage to prove their worth, confidence, and subsequently they may end up appearing arrogant by looking for fault in others to feel good about themselves or to pick fights. And what really surprised me is that I felt this way about Jorge and all of the other Sims and their personalities until the game picked up on it too and decided to actually assign these sub-traits to them. So it was kind of like reading a horoscope. It was super duper freaky, and it was really cool because it also kind of connected me to the characters furthermore. Like, yeah, that's exactly how they are. Like, how'd you know? It was just, it's really cool. And so he's also an everyman. Everyman Sims just want to belong and feel like they are a part of something. They lack distinctive identity and rarely stand out. Now, I agree with everything except for the lacking distinctive identity and rarely stand out, because Jorge does stand out. Like, he is definitely a very bold type of personality. He also has a lot of things that make him him. Like, he's a chef, he's really good at the guitar, all of those things. He has like really good qualities. Not to mention he's an amazing provider. He's just kind of a crappy husband, to be honest. And then with Francesca, she actually has the caregiver trait and the everyman trait as well, which I kind of feel like maybe that last part there kind of fits her a little more than it did Jorge, because you know what, she doesn't really have an identity. She feels like she's lost in this motherhood, in this marriage, which it can happen. Caregiver Sims are driven by their empathy and compassion to protect and care. Unfortunately, other Sims Jorge can exploit their good nature for their own ends, which we already know. Like, that's exactly what's happening, and it gets better. It gets better. So Mr. Raul Suarez here, I'm gonna let you guys know he has a trait that you might not approve of, but anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and show you because this is my game. Judge me if you want, it's totally fine. He is a candy dealer. That's right. Yeah, he hasn't been doing a lot of that, but yeah, he's a candy dealer, and the reason why is he's like so hustle focused. Like, he wants to make money, he wants to be rich. Like, him living in poverty, like quote unquote, has really driven him to just try to like grab money like straws. It's kind of crazy. So anyways, it may not be the best way to do it or the right way to do it, but it's the way that Raul is doing it. And so, you know what, like I said, that kid, I don't know, I still love him though. He's amazing. But with that, he is also a everyman. And then with Yesenia, my beloved Yesenia, I love her so much. I think she is seriously one of the cutest Sims I have ever freaking played. She is, let's see, a caregiver and a lover. Now, this is why I feel like this trait is perfect for you, Sunny, because again, it was kind of tying into what I was saying earlier about Bryce and Andy. Lover Sims crave intimacy, live to experience pleasure, and are very passionate. Nonetheless, with their desire to evoke love in others, they risk losing their own identity and appear shallow. I don't know how somebody who comes off as loving could appear shallow, but again, I'm not the one that created these descriptions. But yeah, and she's also, I already told you, she's a caregiver too. So this is what her character values look like so far, in case anybody is interested. Her emotional control is definitely on the lower side. Her responsibility is starting to climb up a lot, because when she first met Bryce, I think it's Bryce, she really threw any sort of responsibility out the window. Like, she was just kind of, she went AWOL a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. And so with let me see, Raul here, he's actually, I mean, he's got amazing manners, right? But his conflict resolution is a little bit low, as well as his emotional control, which makes sense. He does a lot of things that aren't necessarily like responsible, so he's kind of irresponsible, but not necessarily in the red just yet. But his empathy is through the roof, so he actually cares like deeply for people, and that's probably why that whole situation with Isa really affected him. So when it comes to Francesca, I know that we did talk about how she really wanted to get into like writing and all that. That's kind of like a passion that she's kind of put on the back burner because of like having kids, and right now with the way that Jorge, like his work schedule is, she doesn't have time to sit down and write a book or do anything for herself. And it looks like his like work shift is from 5 p.m. all the way to 11 p.m. So he kind of has a shorter work shift now, which is actually really nice. I didn't realize it wasn't as long as it used to be. It used to be like where he would come home at like 2 in the morning, and then he would go like out to the bar, which was unfortunate. So he's been coming home lately, which is amazing. Like, I totally, oh hell no, okay? Like, I cannot get the heck off my porch. So yeah, he's definitely turned it around. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit lonely and I'm calling you home. Okay, seriously, Jen, quit it. I had some caffeine today, can you tell? Yeah, he's been trying to make it work, but you know, the baby, that's kind of a big deal, because if Francesca finds out that he's got Quinn, ew, like, what is she gonna do? Is she finally gonna leave him? Like, I really want to know. I want to know what you guys are thinking about all this drama, all this saga. Like, right? Wouldn't it be amazing if I felt this comfortable to make this an LP? But I don't, for multiple reasons. Just because, you know, I don't know, like, there's just a lot. There's a lot going on here. And to be honest, like, I'm kind of enjoying just playing it for myself. Like, yeah, I don't feel like I have to hide, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And so, anyways, I had somebody ask me on Twitter today, like, how do I stay in love with my Let's Plays? I just play, and I'm not afraid to like touch on real life situations. And for a long time, I wouldn't play with Wicked Whims, I wouldn't play with Base Mental, but then I realized, like, I play Grand Theft Auto. There's a fine line between video games and real life, let's just put it that way. And she's so cold out here, which is crazy. We've been actually having quite a chilly summer in Oasis Springs. I've been dying for it to snow. The cool thing about Brent or Bryce, I'll never get it right, is that he actually lives in San Myshuno, and so when Yesenia goes to visit him, which is primarily on the weekends, she originally was going there all the time, she's able to like go and enjoy the snow, which is something she hasn't really been able to like experience living out in Oasis Springs. So anyway, I'm actually gonna go ahead and wrap up this video because I feel like we could talk forever. Like, I really am enjoying playing in this household, and I was scared. I was so scared that I lost interest in them. I was like disappointed because I really put a lot of effort into creating the Sims and the house, and I was just like, I'm not loving it. And then I put in Wicked Whims, and then added in the oh my god, I can't even talk, the attractiveness system, as well as some other things, you know, that made it real, I guess. And also with Base Mental, and just kind of like being okay with what Raul's doing, even though that's not like my personal belief, but just respecting the fact he is his own character, it really made the story a little more interesting. Granted, yeah, it's not everybody's forte, but if you guys are interested in future updates, give this video a big thumbs up. Okay, let me know in the comments down below, what do you think Francesca, okay, should do about this situation with her husband? Do you think she's finally going to leave him in the dust? Would you leave him in the dust? Again, talking about the Sims here, like, what would you do if you were Francesca? I'm really curious, because I mean, like, I don't know, I'm genuinely at a loss of words, so I'm super excited to see what you guys have to think. And with that said, don't forget to go ahead and comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye, guys.
Eres bonita, el olor de tu cabello son cosas que me excitan, y tus panties en el suelo, también los besos parecen de un universo muy lejos pero del nuestro, con ese sabor a miel.